Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of Technovation's 2021 World Summit. I'm so excited to introduce our Technovation Alumni panel, who will share the impact that Technovation has made on their personal lives and careers, and will discuss what it's like to be a young woman entering the tech industry. The panel will be moderated by my dear colleague Audra, who is currently Technovation's creative manager. Audra has been with Technovation for 7.5 years and has been instrumental in increasing Technovation's reach with her creative abilities. Now I'll pass it off to Audra to introduce herself and our wonderful panelists. Hello, Audra.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you, Anna. Very quickly, I'll just introduce myself a little bit more. So as Anna mentioned, I am part of Technovation's marketing team, which means I have this really great job that allows me to hear the great stories that come out of our Technovation community and our alumni in particular. It's just a great job to have because I hear amazing things happening around the world all the time, and it's so inspiring. So I'm really excited to have these girls here with us to share their stories today because it's also, as many of you know, this is our 15th year. So we get to mark this 15th year and share incredible stories that have come out of those 15 years of Technovation's history and all the journeys that have come along with that and the amazing things that these girls have done in the world. So to get started, I would love for each of the alumni here to share a little bit about themselves. If you can each introduce yourselves to the audience, share where you're from and how you've participated in Technovation so far.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dalia, and I'm 20 years old from Palestine. I study computer engineering. I joined Technovation in 2017. My team and I built an app called Feminine that helps oppressed women to get their voices heard by specialists or share successful stories with them. Technovation was an eye-opening for me to the tech world, and it made me decide that I want to continue this with my career. And here I am now. I'm an intern with Google for 3 months this summer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Malaika, an 18-year-old from Lahore, Pakistan. I participated in the Technovation Challenge back in 2018, as part of which I created an app that aims to reduce cases of child sexual abuse in Pakistan by educating children about good touch and bad touch. Currently, I'm a high school student at the International School Lahore, and I'm currently working on expanding my organization, Girl Coders Pakistan, an initiative that aims to bridge the STEM gender gap in Pakistan.
Hey, I'm Gabby. I participated in Technovation in 2017, and my team built an app called Strive, which aimed to help students strive for success by connecting them to local opportunities for volunteering, scholarships, contests, things like that. And now I'm a fourth-year student studying computer science at Carleton University, which is in Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada. And yeah, I'm also a part of Shopify's Dev Degree program. So I worked there for the past 3 years, and I'm currently working there as a data science intern.
Thank you all so much. We do also have one more alumna who was not able to join us today. She was, though, able to send a video of herself. So we would love to share that with everyone really quick. Her name is Grace, and she has an incredible story as well. We wish that she could be here.
Hello everyone, my name is Grace from Delta, Nigeria. The reason why I'm unable to go live today for the World Summit event and the alumni panel is because I'm currently undergoing a compulsory National Youth Service Corps orientation course in my country, Nigeria. And for this reason, the environment is not conducive enough for me to go live today. So here's my Technovation story. I joined Technovation in 2015 and my team won the senior division category with a mobile application called Discardios. Discardios was aimed at solving the problem of improper waste disposal in Nigeria. Currently, I work as a UX designer for 3 startups in Nigeria. During my participation in Technovation, I enjoyed the whole process, from creating a mobile application using MIT App Inventor to designing a business plan and networking with girls from all around the world. Until date, I'm still enjoying the mentorship program. What I plan to do in the next 5 years, starting from next year, is to start a virtual tech academy and partner with Technovation to train more girls in technology. The aim of this program is to bridge the tech gap, which is currently ongoing all over the world. I just want to say a very big thank you to all the participants and viewers of the World Summit event, and a big thumbs up to other panelists.
All right. So I'd love to ask the three of you some questions. The first one, could you tell me about the moment that each of you realized you wanted to create technology?
Yeah, I'll go first. When I was in high school, I really enjoyed technology classes, and my teacher chose me to participate in a competition between schools that's called like robot line follower robot that uses Arduino language to program it, and that was my first time actually write a line of code. And the logic behind programming, like it amazed me that we can talk to machines, that we can do things with just writing lines of code. And from there, I was really interested in learning more. So I started to take online courses like fundamentals of programming, the logic behind programming, when I was in high school. And then I participated with Technovation, where it was my first actual experience like participating in technology field. Yeah.
Okay, I can go next. So, my journey into the world of computer science actually happened back in 2014 when I was in grade six. So, in 2014, everyone in my school was on this, mission of joining Instagram, and I too joined that trend. And once I joined Instagram, I would spend my entire time scrolling up and down on my newsfeed and literally wasting time. So that summer, my elder brothers, who were abroad for their undergrad, they came back to Pakistan and they actually asked me to develop some fruitful hobbies. And during that time, when I was exploring for different things that I could do, my elder brother, he actually showed me how to make a website by writing a few lines of code. And I think that's when I actually absolutely fell in love with the concept behind computer programming and all the different things that you could do through programming in general. So ever since then, I started taking online courses. I participated in competitions, inter-school competitions, international competitions, and I've been involved in tech-centric projects. So I think that's when I really learned that I wanted to create technology.
Yeah, so for me, I learned how to code in grade 10 computer science, which my dad actually made me take. But it wasn't until Technovation that I saw that, what I build can really, have an impact. I mean, in computer science, I had a lot of fun building like a lot of silly little games, and that was a lot of fun. But in Technovation, I learned, first of all, how easy it is to get a simple mobile app up and running, and that was really cool because that's something I actually use every day. And yeah, I also learned that if you have a good idea, and you can put the effort in, you can really make something that helps make people's lives better, even if it solves, just a little problem. So I think Technovation definitely helped me there in helping me realize that I wanted to continue building things.
Thank you. So I'd love to learn a little bit more about what impact Technovation has had beyond what you just shared on your personal lives and then also on your careers.
Okay, so I think in my case, before I participated in Technovation, I was taking computer science at my school as an extra subject, and I was also working on a few personal projects, so making some websites for some work that I was doing. And during that whole time, I actually thought that technology was all about using, writing lines of code to create a website for a business or developing a software. And when I participated in Technovation in 2018, that's when I actually realized that technology is more than just that. And technology can also be used to uh, target social problems in your community and tackle some of those important problems. And that's what really changed my perspective. And since then, I've shifted from just creating websites and mobile apps for different businesses. And I've actually started working on more projects that revolve around tackling social problems in my community.
Yeah, for me, I at the time when I was participating in Technovation, I hadn't really figured out yet what I wanted to do after high school, and I think Technovation definitely helped me figure that out. It was my first real exposure to the tech industry. I got to visit all these different companies in Ottawa and learn about the kind of work that they do, and yeah, that was super exciting. And I kind of left with the impression that if I work in tech, I can help build the future and help people with their problems. But on top of that, also, um, in my computer science classes in high school, there was maybe like one girl for every like 8 boys, some crazy ratio like that. So it was pretty shocking to go to these Technovation events and just see a huge room just full of girls, full of women, and yeah, just see all these other intelligent girls, learn from the amazing mentors and the speakers who are just excelling in their fields. So that really made me feel like there was a place for me in the industry.
Yeah, for me, before Technovation, I learned about the fundamentals of programming, like theoretically. I wanted to know how we can use this in actual apps or how to make actual projects that's helpful. And my Technovation was my first experience doing this. I worked with a team on a real project that actually has a goal that helps people around us. And also, we worked on the business side where we learned about the business model, the plan, markets, and what that was a huge part as well in the tech field. I also like during that experience, I started to have a better or a clear idea what I want to do in my career, that I want to join university with computer science major. And like it introduced me on also like it introduced me to let's say soft skills side, like teamworks and problem solving, how to be an active listener. All these things I learned in innovation helped me a lot during my career after it.
So I know each of you has been involved in your communities and you've known other girls who have participated in Technovation. Can you share what impact you see Technovation making in each of your communities?
So there's actually there's a handful of other women in the dev degree program with me who are also Technovation alumni, and I can honestly say just every single one of them is doing incredible. They're just constantly exceeding expectations on the teams that they join, and I really think Technovation helps them with like realizing their potential early on. And actually, one of my close friends in the program, she has continued to run the business that she started with Technovation, and they've gone on to get funding and everything. So it's pretty cool to see her continue that as a side hustle.
Yeah, for me, I know two girls were in my group when I joined Innovation, and now they have a job. They're working while studying. Like we still have 2 more years in university, but they already have jobs while studying, and that's, let's say, hard in my community, and especially for girls. So it's really amazing to see the impact that Innovation did.
So, in my case, I've actually observed two things. The number one thing is that I've seen many girls around me switching their careers to a STEM specific career. And the second thing is that most of the people who were previously not in favor of making girls participate in such competitions, I've seen their view and perspective changing. I've seen most of my male teachers actively supporting and encouraging girls in my school to participate in Technovation and other competitions like Technovation.
Thank you all. So my next question is what it's like as a young woman entering technology and STEM industries, or even pursuing your field of study today. What's the biggest challenge that you've overcome in your career or personal journey as a female in technology?
Well, it's not that common to girls to join tech field, but I can say that it's getting common day by day. But when I joined university by choosing computer engineering major, I was the first one in my family, like my big family, the first girl to join this field, and I found support from them, but it wasn't that common in my cohort in the university. It wasn't that big number comparing to men joining. So when I chose this major, uh, I felt it was a challenge that I overcame. One of the challenges that I think of that girls may face, that there are some events regarding to tech that women maybe find it hard to participate or something. For example, hackathons. I once had an tech community in my hometown that they made hackathon, and girls couldn't join because they can't stay late. So that's one of the challenges that I can think of.
I mean, entering the tech industry as a woman is absolutely very tough, especially if you're a female in Pakistan. But I believe while it is tough, it also gives you a kick. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So, for my case, whenever I saw everyone around me trying to put me down, and especially when those people were almost twice my age, they were people who were working in the industry for quite some time. When I saw that they were bringing me down, it motivated me in a way that I thought, maybe there's something so good about me. Maybe I'm so good at this skill that it actually scares them enough that they have to try and stop me from entering this industry. But other than that, the biggest challenge that I've overcome in this field is that previously I was not taken too seriously by the people around me. And there were two reasons for that. So the first reason was that I was a girl. And the second reason was that I'm a young person. So I'm still 18 and I'm still considered to be a young person, even though I think there are many things that I'm now allowed to do that I previously wasn't. But even then, people around me will say that I'm young and I'm a girl, so I can't make these decisions. But that is something that I am slowly trying to overcome, and I think I'm getting better at it day by day.
For me personally, I feel like a lot of the challenges that I face, they kind of stem more from being an intern, from being inexperienced, rather than being a woman. But that being said, I have been the only woman on a team at work, or one of few women in a classroom, and yeah, I think a lot of the challenges for me there are kind of internal. Like it's hard to not kind of feel singled out and just like notice it right away. So I think one of the ways that's helped me get over that challenge is kind of just putting the extra effort into just try and get to know my teammates better, and just try and like feel more comfortable, feel like I know them, and that way I don't like automatically feel like I'm, separate when we're together.
Thank you all. I think each of you brought up some really interesting things. I know Dahlia mentioning not being able to participate in hackathons simply because they happen late at night where it might not be safe or socially acceptable to be out and about as a young female. Malaika talking about how other people's perspectives can impact your ability to make progress and be taken seriously. And then Gabby, your advice about trying to build relationships in order to really get the respect that Malaika was talking about. I think that is all so important. So I have another question, and this question too, I'd love to hear what everybody in the chat thinks about it. So what do you think needs to change for more girls to pursue STEM? Is there a specific thing that helped any of you in your education or journey to create a more inclusive environment for girls?
Sorry. So I think something that you can do to include more girls in STEM specific fields is that you can support them. And not just support them by saying stuff like, oh, where we think that there's a lack of women in STEM, and we think that that is because you're not good enough. So we are going to make the stuff easier for you so you can feel included. No, that's not the right way to include girls. The right way to include more women in STEM and to support them would be to create more opportunities for them, to create a good environment for them, to create a supporting environment for them so that they feel that they belong there and that you are not doing a favor to them by just telling them that, you can't do this, so we're making it easier for you. And other than that, I think that you should share successful stories of other women in STEM, how women all over the world have come over obstacles and they've reached this point.
I think something that can make a really big impact on getting more girls to pursue STEM and specifically tech is just more early exposure. I think we're doing pretty well with this in science. At least like when I was when I was growing up, science was part of the mandatory curriculum pretty early on, and we had like all these fun science experiments and science fairs and all these things that get kids excited about science at a young age. And I think computer science is really behind in that area. I mean, to be fair, it is more new, but still, I learned how to code because I decided to take this elective, and a lot of my friends, they still don't know the first thing about coding, and yeah, I think it's a huge problem, and I think girls will continue to be uninterested or even intimidated by computer science if they don't know the first thing about it. So that's something I think that can definitely help get more girls interested in STEM and tech specifically.
Yeah, as Malaika and Gabby mentioned, definitely successful stories is a big part of motivating young girls or girls in general to join tech industry. For example, where I came from, I'm from Palestine, and it's so hard for girls, especially in the tech field, to believe that there is an opportunity for them. Like spreading those successful stories, especially if it's about people or women from their community, it really helps to get them motivated. And as Gabby mentioned, that introducing them at a young age, teaching them real base or small basic things about programming and coding, it really helps that get them interested in tech field. And also, if I think of my community, we know that the strongest resources about programming or coding is in English. So I believe that the language barrier is plays a role by making them step back or not be motivated to go to this industry. So, yeah.
Thank you. I think those are all such great points about making sure that women's stories in STEM are being represented and shared for younger girls. And I think the point about translation, we have such a great community of volunteers where our organization, Technovation, has this great network of volunteers who provide really such a huge lift in just translating materials so that girls can participate from all over the world who might not know English or be fluent in it. So I think, you know, we here are so very fortunate to have this great community and to be making the change that everybody is contributing to in their own way. And you, by sharing your stories, are already contributing to the things that you already identified as needing to change. So thank you. So I know we have a few things shared in the chat. We asked them if there is a girl in their life who is pursuing STEM and one action that could be taken to support her. So Nicholas mentions his cousin. She's amazing, and I try my best to let her know every time I see her. She is strong and confident, and she has such a strong belief that she can accomplish anything, and that is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Terry says his stepdaughter, though she's still young, she loves science. For me, it is just actively participating and supporting her when she wants to do any sort of science activity and trying to expose, even in small ways. Perhaps we watch Nat Geo Kids instead of a Disney movie. I think that's a great idea. And it connects, actually, I have a daughter who's 8. Gabby, I know you mentioned, it's just coming to me, we were having so many comments from men who are supporting girls in their lives to pursue STEM. Gabby, you mentioned your dad is who introduced you to computer science. So there's definitely a role for not just females to support girls being in STEM, but everybody to support it. And I think that's really, really lovely. So thank you all. Karen says, sharing stories is so important. Girls see what's possible through stories. That is so true. Storytelling, I mean, we're hardwired to be impacted by stories and to learn from them. So that is so, so important. So now I have a question for each of you that's a little bit different. I'd like to start with Dahlia. So how has Google supported you as a female in technology during your internship? What are some tips that you have for girls landing a tech job in a large company?
Sure. Yeah, answering the first question, how Google supported me or women in general. Google is showing support for women in everything. They have their own communities, sessions, activities, everything that raises awareness of the importance of diversity and the big role that women contribute in the STEM field. My advice for girls that pursuing an opportunity in tech companies, that the most important thing, they have the belief that they have the opportunity. Like for me, I always thought of Google as something on a different planet this far, but I was really or I believe that if there is an opportunity for me like others, if I really worked hard and like did what I have to do, then I will get it. And they need to focus on participate in many events as much as they can, that their goal their target companies or the companies they dream of, they make just participate with the events, make a network because it's really important. and it helps you with getting the chance to get your application reviewed, or maybe get a referral. That will help you a lot. And of course, practicing the skills or the interviews, for example, Google asks for data structure and algorithm. Of course, it's really important to practice it by mock interviews, for example, before the actual interview.
Thank you. Let's see, Malaika, we know that you started your own organization named Girl Coders Pakistan. What inspired you to start this organization?
Okay. So in 2017, I was fortunate enough to travel to the US to attend a game development summer camp at MIT, which goes by the name of Girls Make Games. And while that summer camp was the best summer camp I have ever attended in my entire life, it taught me several things. And it also made me realize several things. And the first thing that I realized was that I was the only girl from a Muslim country in that summer camp. In 2018, I had another incident with Girls Make Games, and that was that I was invited back to the US as a head counselor. But unfortunately, I was not able to go to the US. Although it was a great opportunity, I was not able to go because of the finances. There was a family event in my family that year, which meant that I could not spend a lot of money on traveling to the US, then staying in the US for 3 weeks. And that made me realize that, I was very fortunate to travel to the US in 2017. And it also made me realize that while I was lucky enough to travel all across the globe, there are many other girls in my country who cannot do that. And then it also made me realize that there are many other girls in my country who cannot even step out of their city or their house to, take part in such activities. And that's when I realized that at that point, I needed to give back to my community more than anything else that I needed to do. So that's when I founded Girl Coders Pakistan. I founded GCP to include all women around me, to give them a chance, to give them a platform so they can access resources, so they can take part in a STEM specific career, in a STEM specific activity. And what we do at GCP is that we don't make kids sit in a classroom and teach them how to write lines of code. We do something that is similar to what Technovation does. So we focus on project based learning and experiential learning. And we actually make students work on different projects. So projects that revolve around tackling a social problem in their community, projects that revolve around helping members of the community, or projects that revolve around making robots, but not robots that can, make their way through a maze. Maybe robots that can say hello to everyone when a person enters the computer lab. And that's how we are different from any other organization in Pakistan. And last year, we were lucky enough to impact 100 girls across the country. And this year, we're almost close to impacting 500 girls across the country.
That is incredible. And I love hearing about alumni going on to start their own organizations. I think I enjoy hearing about that even more than hearing about the apps launch, to be honest, because what you took away from this experience is how important it is to have girls' voices represented in the field. Not just girls' voices, but girls' voices from all communities that don't typically have the advantages that some others might in getting involved in technology. And you brought those opportunities to your community. And I think that that is so powerful. And congratulations to you for doing that. It's really wonderful. So, Gabby, I have a question for you. Why do you think it's important to have girls in tech? Why are we doing this in the first place?
I guess the obvious answer is that having more girls, more women in tech is beneficial to women. There are a lot of, stable jobs in tech, fulfilling jobs, high-paying jobs. These are all things that can help women, feel more independent, more self-sufficient. Those are all, really great benefits. But I think maybe even more importantly, it's just beneficial to everyone to have more women in tech. I mean, if you think about it, women make up a huge demographic, right? And that's all this brain power that we could have helping us solve the world's problems and solve them quicker. And on top of that, I think diversity is really powerful. The more different perspectives we can get working on our problems, the more creative solutions we'll have, and also the more inclusive products we'll be able to put out. So to me, those are huge benefits of having more women in tech.
So I do want to put a shout out. If anyone in the audience has any questions for the alumni here, please feel free to share those in the chat. We will try. Oh, here we have one. Okay. So what would be the first step for me to take to enter the tech world as a girl coming from a totally different sphere? And I assume by sphere she might mean field, from a different field. So whoever would like to answer that.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is that there's so many resources online. There's so many free classes, free lessons that you can take, and they're really helpful. I do them sometimes, even though I'm in university for computer science. It still kind of helps me out to solidify some concepts. And another thing is, depending on the company, you can enter in a different position and kind of transition your way, I think, to a technical role while you learn those skills. I know, like at Shopify, they try to encourage everyone to have some kind of technical knowledge and ship like one pull request, just so, I don't know, everyone gets a feel for what we're doing. So you can start out in support and learn as you go and transition to a role in tech that way.
Okay, we have another question from Kate. Are there any role model women or girls you follow on Instagram or on YouTube that you could recommend, especially to share with those that don't think coding is fun or learnable?
Well, for me, I don't have a specific, let's say, role model in mind. But whenever I see girl in tech or woman that shares anything on social media that she's in tech, I immediately follow and start hearing and watching the content they provide. Like anyone, I don't have specific, let's say, from countries or anything. But I watch them all. I follow them all.
I also, like, I don't follow anyone specific, but something that came to mind is at work we have this Slack channel specifically for women developers, and I love that every time someone gets like a promotion or they're speaking at an event or holding a workshop, we share it in the channel, and I just love seeing everyone support each other, and it's also just inspirational for me to see that.
All right, we have one from Anna. Is there a specific person that helped you on your journey in tech? This could be a mentor, a parent, or any other role model. And could you share how they helped you?
Okay,
Yeah.
I can go first.
Oh, sorry, Malika, you can go.
So in my case, there are two people who supported me the most. The first person is my mom. My mom, she actually had kind of a rough life. She wanted to pursue medicine, but she was married at the age of 18. And since my dad was in the military, they had to move all over the country. So my mom could not pursue medicine at that point. But she was determined enough to complete her education, her university, and then her master's after 18 years of marriage. So by that time, she had 3 kids. I was the youngest, and I needed her the most at that time. But even though she was going to college every day, I never felt that I was missing out on all of the mom and daughter time, because she always made sure that she was giving time to everyone. And I still remember that my bedtime used to be 9 p.m., and my mom would put me to bed, and then she would stay up till 1 a.m., completing her assignments and studying for her exams. The other person who has supported me the most, and I am so grateful for him. He's my eldest brother. Normally, men in Pakistan aren't very supportive, especially when it comes to your fathers and your brothers. But I was lucky in that regard. I have a very good support system at my house. And my eldest brother, he has always been there to support me. He has always taken the first step to convince my parents to let me travel to another country to pursue something that I want to attend a summit that I want to. And I don't think I could have done half of the things that I've done right now if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, for me, when I joined Technovation, there is a community in my hometown called Gaza Sky Geeks that provide us with mentors, and it's all for free. That they just want us to participate and get to see the world. And there, I knew, or I got introduced to my friend now. He was older than me, and he had experience after university, and he was sharing like, we can say, resources, or what to do next after Technovation. There was sometimes hard terms in technology that I didn't get, or I tried to search online but I didn't understand. He was the one that simplified it to me, and that like really helped me a lot. And also my parents, they really encouraged me to pursue a tech field in the university, even though it wasn't common for girls. They supported me 100%. And my brothers, my sisters, all of them, like, they were really excited for me.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I think we do have a few other questions here. Oh, there's one. So, how has STEM and Technovation impacted other areas of your life? They give an example about hearing about about team building and activism. Are there other areas of your life that have been impacted by your experience?
Yeah, I can answer this one. So for me, as a young woman from Gaza, Palestine, I had the feeling that we're somehow different from the world. We don't have that opportunities, or maybe we have, I don't know, different life. But when I joined Innovation, we had those meetings with girls around the world, even girls in my own country from the West Bank that we don't get to see or visit. And I realized that we're all the same. We all have the same experience. We all have the same education. We're on the same level of everything almost. So there's nothing different, and that really relieved me, or made me happy, and felt um, like I felt welcomed, let's say. And it's not what I thought. So that's something I can definitely think of.
So I think we can move on to another question that I have for you, which is 5 years from now, what do you think you're going to be doing? Where will you be?
Yeah, so I still have 2 years in the university. So I'm thinking of having more 2 to 3 internships during that time. I will take winter and summer internships, hopefully, because I really believe that a practical experience, of course, helps before graduation, and it's really important to have it so you don't get to work in the tech field for the first time after graduation. And now that I'm in Germany, an intern with Google, I see how much connections really important. So what I'm thinking of to do is maybe after graduation, I'll have a full-time job as a software developer. I want to be like a normal employee to learn or explore as many things as I can before getting to choose what to specify in. And during that time, my first goal would be is how to make opportunities for young girls from my community, because I want to give them what I've got. It's very rare for girls to have this, and I want to be the reason, or I want to be part of making this happen. I'll connect them to get them referred, or provide resources, or provide the paths they can follow. I'll start with my friends, my family, and then they can share it with their friends, and in that way, maybe I'll get to give as many as girls chances to be connected to the whatever company they dream of to work in.
So, I will be going to the US for my university. And once I'm done with that, I see myself returning back to Pakistan and expanding Girl Coders Pakistan. I know that I will have the opportunity of working in the US or, maybe any other country for that matter. But personally, I want to come back and give back to my community and my country first. And maybe when I've done so much for my country and I've come up with something that's so sustainable that I don't need to be physically present there all the time, I might go to other countries and expand Girl Coders all across the globe, maybe.
So I'm currently a fourth year in university. And yeah, for the past couple years, my goal has been mainly to just try as many different things as possible. And I think I'll probably continue that honestly for a couple years, even after I graduate, just trying to see, what's the best fit for me, kind of like Dahlia said. And yeah, I'm really trying to, build out my range instead of specializing early. I'm hoping that'll be beneficial later on. But if I had to guess, I think I could see myself maybe working in the area of internationalization. One of the things I really love about computer science is that you're never just working in computer science. Hopefully, you can apply some of your other interests to the job. So one of the reasons why I really enjoyed my placement on the internationalization team at Shopify is that I wasn't just coding. I was applying my interests in geography and languages and different cultures. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe that's where I'll end up in 5 years.
Thank you all. So I do have one more question. If each of you could share what drives you to continue pursuing this field and this career path in STEM, despite the obstacles you face, what is your dream for the future?
So, something that drives me to continue pursuing a career in STEM is actually not a thing, it's a person. Um, and this might make me very emotional, but it's my baby niece. So, in a country where some people still frown upon the birth of baby daughters, I want to show my baby niece that she is greater than any other obstacle that she will come across in her entire life. And that if she really puts her heart and mind to it, she can do whatever she wants in whichever field she wants to. And that no person can stop her from being the boss woman that she wants to be. The dream that I want to achieve is that I completely want to bridge the STEM gender gap in Pakistan for once and all.
Um, yeah, what drives me to continue pursuing a career in tech, I think it's that it never really gets boring. I feel like it's not a matter of worrying about it getting boring. It's more like worrying that if I can keep up. It's like things change so quickly. I not only am I solving challenging problems every day, but the problems are constantly changing. So to me, that's something that's really exciting and, keeps me engaged in working in the tech industry. And yeah, my hope for the future, I guess, tying it back to one of my previous answers, I really hope that, every girl can leave high school or even better, elementary school with some kind of knowledge of computer science or coding. And yeah, hopefully that will lead to more equal representation in post-secondary and in the workplace.
Yeah, for me, what drives me to continue in the tech field is knowing the impact that technology has on solving problems. Like, for example, any problem that we could think of, there's technology involved. And in our world, it's really important to keep solving these problems. And at the same time, I enjoy it. Like, I have fun writing codes. I love the feeling when something works with me. So joining those two things, that what drives me to continue. And my hope for future is to be part of that impact in the world. I don't know what exactly it is, but that's what I'm like hoping for. That's what I'm thinking of every day, and that's the reason that I continue and I woke up every morning to be part of a change or changes in the world.